Viewpoints On, episode 39. Kind of a slow week, so we're going to have a two-parter today. So big news. We almost had a heart attack of the week.
The biggest news of the week, really, just, I'm sure a lot of you have heard. Disney bought Marvel Entertainment for $4 billion.
With a B.
$4 billion.
A big B.
Now, my mom questions whether a comic book company is worth $4 billion. I had explained to her it's a little more involved than just comic books.
It's a little complicated.
Yeah. But basically, Disney has bought Marvel all together, all of its characters, so they can just do what they want with them, or maybe they'll just, you know, take them under their wing and help them out with distribution and production. But the real story is that most of the big name characters are already under contract with other studios. Yeah,
you got Spider-Man Ghost Rider with Sony, you got Fantastic Four and the X-Men with Fox, and Iron Man, the Avengers, Thor with Paramount for the time being.
Of course.
Paramount has a 5-picture deal with Marvel, and as soon as that ends, then Disney will take over.
Right.
So that means we'll see Iron Man 2, the Avengers, Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man 3. Those are the 5 pictures that were announced by Paramount, so we know that's official. And Disney, you know, that was in the Disney thing too. So those are the 5 films. So it'll be, Avengers comes out in 2012.
Yeah.
So it'll be at least, I think, 2015 before, or 2014 before Disney starts taking that stuff back.
Well, yeah, that's all. And of course, Spider-Man, they're about to start another part of that trilogy.
With 3.
Yeah. So,
I don't think Sony wants Ghost Rider, but I don't think Disney wants... You can't really market a Mickey on fire.
Don't forget about Lionsgate. They've got the Punisher. So anyways, but the other
I want to take my picture with the Punisher at Disney Park and be like, a big gun.
But the other part of that is that Universal, of course, has the Marvel characters in their theme parks, and they have roller coasters themed after them.
And that contract, from which I've read, is very weird. Like, as long as they're using them, they get to keep them. So, of course, Universal's not going to be like, well, we're going to close this Fantastic Four restaurant down.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they do, bam!
Yeah.
Disney got it. So, like we said before, I think we talked about in the blogs, lawyers from both parts, I'm sure, are going over them like crazy. These contracts, like, line by line, they got like a magnifying glass.
Yeah, they're going to find the tiniest little loophole that they can find.
So, basically what Disney has now is... a lot of B-list characters, a lot of C-list characters, and a lot of D-list characters.
But that's what they said they want. They want to make some of the B-list characters more known. Yeah.
And then we talked about, there was a Disney press release that talked about how John Lasseter, who's in charge of animation, we all know he did some of the greatest Pixar movies ever made.
Right.
Met with the Marvel people, and apparently sparks flew and everyone was excited. And I'm hopeful because one of my favorite Marvel books is Runaways.
Yeah.
It's created by Brian K. Vaughan, who we know went on to Lost.
It's a great story.
Yeah. That would make a great Pixar film, I think.
Perfect. It's pretty much like a match made in heaven right there.
Yeah.
My favorite line, I heard Kevin Smith said he read this on Twitter this morning. Well, not this morning, but he read it on Twitter, and I heard him say it this morning, was that... are people thinking that, you know, Hannah Montana's not going to want to give up her secret identity and she's going to end up at war with Iron Man? So...
That would be awesome. Repulsor blast to the face.
That's probably my most favorite line I've heard about this merger going down.
Yeah. So, there's lots to be heard. We're going to the Disney D3 Expo next week. Bob Iger, the president of Disney, is starting off right out the beginning. So, hopefully there'll be some... Marvel news in there. The sale's not supposed to be happening until like the end of this year.
Right.
This is prelim talks. Apparently he's been to Marvel headquarters and talked to the people and said like you have nothing to worry about. Yeah. He's actually been reading this really big Marvel encyclopedia apparently from on Deadline Hollywood Daily. Nikki Fink said that she had an insider person that told her that.
Well, because he's got to know what he's talking about, you know.
For the president of a company to do that.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, because what we heard, we'll blog about that.
Yeah. But, you know, more comic news besides that one.
It seemed like once Disney and Marvel made that announcement, then all these different places were like, well, we got an announcement too.
Yeah, like the gates opened. So there's a couple of comic book movies that have been announced. They're heading into production. First of all, Lobo.
Lobo, who, he's sort of like DC's bounty hunter. A lot of people kind of compare him to Wolverine because he's like, he smokes and he's tough and he kicks butt.
Big name director attached.
Well, sort of.
I'll say big name. Guy Ritchie.
Yes, Guy
is
Ritchie.
attached to do Lobo. You have some Lobo news.
Well, Don Payne is writing the script. Don Payne is known for writing Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Okay.
Yeah. And My Super Ex-Girlfriend.
Which are classics.
Yeah, and he's writing the script, and from what I heard, the plot involves Lobo coming to Earth. I don't know why he has to come to Earth, because he's an alien. He's mainly an outer space alien. Comes to Earth, tracking down these 4 escaped convict aliens, and he has to team up with a teenage girl to help save the day. It's like, that's not...
Wow, really?
Lobo,
Really?
if Lobo was, like, tracking down these people, and this girl came his way, he'd probably kick her. That's what the comic Lobo would do. So there's that. And then Warner also announced they're making a Dead Man movie.
Right, so for those of you who've been clamoring for a Dead Man movie...
Dead Man's kind of getting more popular because he's kind of has a big part in Blackest Night, which is we talk about.
Right, but up until now, who's been clamoring for a Dead Man movie?
And Guillermo del Toro is going to produce it.
He makes some good stuff.
Yeah, the name of the writer has not been announced yet, so I don't even know if they have a script.
That makes me feel a little better that Guillermo del Toro is
But how many movies is he making?
He's got, like,
everything.
He's literally making about 37 movies right now.
He's got, like, The Hobbit and all that stuff. This makes me wonder, like, and people were saying Warner's doing those 2 movies, and they have the DC property. Why can't we get a Wonder Woman movie before we get these C-list characters?
Dear God, why? Listen, Wonder Woman is probably my most favorite comic book character of all time. Her story is perhaps the easiest to write of all of the comic book characters. Her origin story so simply could be told. I don't understand why we can't get a Wonder Woman movie. I mean,
or a Flash movie, or
a Flash. I mean, a Justice League something before we start going to Dead Man. I mean,
we're already getting Jonah X coming up.
It's ridiculous that we don't have a Wonder Woman movie at this point. Yeah. Can't they try and call back Joss Whedon and kiss and make up with him?
They still have a script. They could use a script.
And, the other news that's got me scratching my head. Fox is going to do a Fantastic Four reboot.
Well, we're not sure if it's, like, completely rebooting it or if they're...
Here's the thing. Yes, Rise of the Silver Surfer wasn't great. There were problems.
Yes.
I don't think the problems was the casting. I liked who they cast as the Fantastic Four.
Well, Jessica Alba.
Yeah, she's probably the weak link, but she's the biggest name of the cast,
That's true. Yeah.
So, I think if they want to do another Fantastic Four, I feel like they need to keep the same group of people.
Yeah, you can't just recast her and then keep everyone else the same. So you either recast everyone or you keep everyone. Akiva Goldsman, who Academy Award winner, I think he won for A Beautiful Mind, but he also wrote Batman and Robin, so that should tell you something. And he's also on my good side right now because he wrote a bunch of episodes of Fringe that were really, really good, and he directed some. I think he's going to do more this season. He's going to be producing it.
So hopefully.
And Michael Green is writing the script, and Stephanie might know Michael Green as the creator of Kings. And he also wrote the Green Lantern script that they're going to be using.
Okay.
I think he wrote it with was that Greg Berlanti, I think his name?
Oh, okay, so...
Yeah, so there is, if you're going to get a writer, he has a good chops.
Right.
But he also wrote for Heroes, so that's... I don't know what you're going to do there. Wow. So lots of comic news. I'm sure after next week when Disney maybe talks about Marvel, Warner, and these other people might, we might hear about a Ghost Rider reboot coming soon with Nicolas Cage.